the township could probably charge them for their holiday periods, which I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I
we
mean,
do.
yeah, you know, we have an understanding with them. And we let them use the park for their recess and all that kind of stuff. But the parking lot is their property, where the play area is, and on into where the baseball fields are is the township property.
Okay, because there was a sign up that if I went to the park and I wouldn't park there, I want to get towed.
Well,
So there's
again,
some-
I've
there's just a
never
verbal
noticed it, but,
understanding.
yeah, they've never towed a car as far as
Yeah.
I've ever been told.
We use, I'm a couple houses from it, and people will park recreation vehicles there on the weekend and all that there.
Because I know there's a service road.
That's just a tiny service road.
Yeah.
Lets the lawnmowers and stuff in.
Is there any thought on the walkway going in there to the play area? It's kind of starting to wash out, I wasn't sure if that was part of the maintenance.
That, there's actually been talk of extending that walkway to go up into the park itself. And hopefully, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but hopefully that's something that we can do with the new park. People that are dedicated to the parks for, you know, for the seasons. High Point Park, it's pretty well been.
Yeah, there's not much you can say.
I mean, they pretty well destroyed a lot of the stuff that was put in by Montgomery Community Church up there. There's graffiti all over. You know, we do things, we put things in, we used to, and they just get destroyed. Including concrete picnic tables and everything else. They destroyed everything.
That's like, there's just a few cans of fresh paint now.
So, I mean, you know, we cut it, and the cops do keep their eye on it, but there's no reason throwing money, good money after bad, because,
No, because it's got a track record.
like I say, I've been here 23 years, and it's been the same since I've been here, and I know before that from what I heard, so. I mean, we talked about crack sealing the basketball court and doing some things like that, but even putting nets up, people will call and say, put nets up. So last
Takes
spring, we
longer.
actually did it, and I think it lasted 2 days.
That's what I'm saying, it takes
They
longer to
stole
put them
the
up
nets.
than it
Yeah.
does, they last. Yeah.
They stole the balls about it.
No, then we put up the chain nets. Destroyed them too, so. The one other area is back here.
Oh, so there's, for High Point, there's no improvements in the budget for 2019? What about signage?
Yeah, possible signage, but
But nothing in the budget.
not for, I mean, there's nothing earmarked for High Point Park. Not to say that something couldn't be put in there out of our budget, but
Because when I was at the High Point neighborhood watch meeting, I showed Denny a picture of the sign that's on the fence. So if you just drive by the park, there's a sign.
it's got the graffiti and stuff.
No, it's worn away. It's half gone.
Well,
Literally.
one that we had there in the past got graffiti completely over, so they took that one down. You know, we can put up a new sign. I'll take bets on how long it'll last before it
They'll
gets
say F you on
graffiti.
it.
Yeah. Back here, the plan is to put up a new pole barn. If they do that, that will take care of a big problem over at Bechtold. It's the pole barn, because that shields off that whole back parking lot. And that's where a lot of shady things go on.
So is the plan to take down that
Yes.
in Bechtold?
Hopefully replace it with
Find a new
a
spot.
shelter, another shelter, and and put regular bathrooms back there. But that would be in the future. They're desperately out of space over there. They have no space left. That building was secondhand when they put it up, and I think that was 30, maybe 35 years ago. So,
As part of the plan, did they ask what Parks and Recreation wanted?
not really.
Say, probably not.
Yeah.
Has Parks and Recreation ever come up with a plan for?
Yeah, we had a plan back there in 2004 to build a rec center. It was overwhelmingly rejected.
That was a comprehensive plan too.
Very
It really
yeah.
was. It was,
So since then, has anything else been planned for?
No, the defeat was pretty bad.
Well, yeah, I know when it happened. It happened right after 2008.
We, I get asked, no, it was
No?
before 2008.
No,
yeah, it was way.
it was like 04, 05.
I get asked if we provide programming and we do this and
A
do that.
long time ago.
No, we don't, we never have. That was going to be something where we could provide programming. That was the plan.
You're right. it
Just so
wasn't-
that you all know, I was sent to St. Louis to look for a week because St. Louis is real big on rec centers. And we did a lot of research. I mean, it was gonna be a nice rec center. The voters said no.
You're right. It was 2002.
Well, I know it was
I
way
was gonna
back.
say, it'd be about at least 4, I know it was a while, it was a long time ago.
So is Parks ever gonna come up with a plan for back there?
Well, the plan is they'll put the
Maintenance building.
maintenance building on the bottom level. There's room on top to build, to make a nice soccer field. And then they'll move the playground up and make it a bigger, more of a, I mean, what we got back there now is just the minimum, and that was basically put in just so parents with little kids, while they were watching their kids practice soccer or football or whatever, if the kids wanted to go over and swing or something. However, that is in a very bad low spot, and it collects water, and it needs to be moved up.
So,
So there's more involved than just building something back there. You're gonna have to,
great.
Right.
Oh, yeah, everything will be graded, the top soccer field will be nice,
So does that mean the tennis courts are gonna be taken out?
yeah.
When was the last time those were used?
They were taken out by the Wyandotte Indian Hill School District before Blue Ash Elementary bought the school, before Sycamore School District turned it into Blue Ash Elementary. Blue Ash Elementary turned the tennis courts into an inline hockey rink. And it started, falling apart. They never did anything to it. The reason it was turned into a hockey rink is because nobody ever went up there and played tennis. So,
I didn't know there was tennis courts back there.
oh, they're all dead, screwing over now. They're back there, but
There's ones up there at, the pool.
yeah. So that's the plans for back there.
Are they gonna take down the razor wire, or are they gonna leave that up?
I would imagine they'll take it down. Okay, move on, old business, luminaria. Just, Al, you wanna give a little report on that?
It went well. People didn't hang around like they have in the past, cause it was too hot, taking cold.
Yeah, it's about 10 degrees.
Yeah, in years past, so take a ride, come back, get a hot chocolate, take another ride. Not this year, man. They
it was one and done, huh?
one and done, and that was it, man.
It was cold that night.
I rode,
Well, Yeah, I mean, it went very well. The crowd was down a little bit, not as much as I thought it would be, because it
Right.
was cold, but, I mean, the hay rides for most of the night were full and kept,
I know some people that live in the area that have moved recently, and it's really well received. I mean, they really enjoy that. They have kids that are, you know,
People,
3, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, that kind of age group, they really enjoy that.
not that I talk to people on the wagon will say, you know, I can't believe this, this is great. And especially when they find out they get a free donut and hot chocolate and all that on top of it, you know, they said, man, this is neat. I keep telling them, thank IGA and the park committee, the park maintenance department, because I said, them guys got more guts than I do driving them things.
Yeah.
yeah, and they do, we do borrow the trolley car. You know, there's free
Yeah.
hay rides. We
Right.
do borrow the trolley car from Sycamore Township. I think they do borrow, and this goes back and forth between communities. They do borrow, I believe, some equipment. I can't tell you exactly what from Deer Park. Blue Ash, I know does.
That trolley car is, an old Kings Island, parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trailer
yeah,
is
really?
what it is, yeah.
Well, they don't
So-
want the Green Township.
Yeah.
And Green Township sold it to Sims Township.
But that's what, that's what they used to use it for, when you grabbed the tram in the parking
Right.
lot of Kings Island, that's what it used to be, is that.
Well,
That's
there's-
how it
there's
started
some-
out years ago.
There's some
so-
people really need that. They don't want a hay ride. They want to ride, but they don't want to ride on hay.
Sure.
And it's all well received. I have a little fun with it.
Yeah. Okay, that's basically it. You know, festival, if that comes around, if it goes off, we'll talk about
Sure,
that.
we'll have a meeting after.
Yeah, but you know, I understand there's some people that aren't real happy with the festival, so we'll see what happens.
Well, it's been such a terrible occurrence for the last 25 years, I can see.
Well, yeah, no.
Was there, is this the first meeting since the festival?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it is.
We basically, the park committee, works, I mean, the main function we fulfill now, that you fulfill now, is to work on different, projects, like,
Some of the special projects,
yeah.
rather than, we don't do anything to direct what goes
Well-
on in building new parks or
Just so you
maintaining
know, yeah,
existing parks or.
the Parks and Recreation Commission is not like zoning, and it's not like, BZA, Board of Zoning Appeals. First off, you guys aren't paid. Second off, basically had no power.
That's what I said. The only power we got is
Recommend.
none.
It was,
Yeah,
It's our suggestion.
the
Yeah.
park
And
commission was,
suggest.
yeah, it was established before I started, right before I started. Just as a thing, because at the time, alls they had was Bob Meyer Park, they had Bechtold Park, but at that time, Bechtold Park wasn't even as big as it is now. McDaniel Park was called the School Road Ball Field.
Yeah, that had just come online right before.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And at that time, the school road side, the township, basically, that was owned by Duke Energy or CG&E at the time. CG&E was gonna sell that property, that was 10 acres. Basically, I'm talking about the property where baseball fields 10, 11, and 12 are, was going to sell that to a developer. And the board at the time heard about that and told Duke that they would like to buy the property and keep it as a park, which they did. But it, like, you know, it was a rock field. It was horrible. There was no such thing as Schuler Park at the time. Schuler Park was an overgrown weed field Deerfield Road. So a lot's been done, but at the time, they weren't, you know, there were no park programs or anything other than the summer playcraft program, which died for lack of interest because of all the camps
Yeah,
and
that
Kids
was-
First and all that, you know. I mean,
It went a few years after I
Oh,
started.
that was
not long.
forever
Yeah.
ago.
yeah.
Jeez.
So one thing I noticed, Mike, is that the, nature preserve isn't on here.
The nature preserve
pretty much
was
it.
going to be developed into a park. Plans were made. The neighbors up there weren't very happy about it. And at that time, and the plans might be around here somewhere, I don't know, if they still exist.
How big is that? How many acres is that?
I think it's maybe 16 or
Is
something
it really?
like that.
Okay, that's a decent chunk of
But
ground.
there's a
Gully in it.
creek, there's a creek running through there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming the plan would just be a walking trail?
It's walking trails and overlooks. They're gonna have overlooks and stuff.
I thought one of the reasons they didn't do it was the cost, because, you know, they had to make it handicap accessible.
Exactly.
Well, and
Well, that
it's not accessible, it's not very accessible.
Well,
Not
no,
all parks have to be handicap accessible.
well, I'm just saying, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, that was, a lot of stuff went into it, but then what became Schuler Park became available.
And the focus went on that.
And they had to decide which one do you wanna develop. Well, they were already getting a bunch of people that weren't happy about putting a park up there. And then you had a lot of people that were unhappy because they didn't think we had enough park space. And they didn't think that we had, I was always hearing, why don't you get a decent field, you know, that big kids and adults can play on baseball field. And Mike, you, in fact, most of you guys were here then.
They're all in for that.
Yeah.
So that's why the nature preserve is just,
A nature preserve.
it's just gonna stay in its natural state.
It's
Wow.
natural.
Yeah, it's just overrun with honeysuckle now.
Yeah.
There was one family, a young girl that was very interested.
She was
in-
taking care of it.
Yeah.
Was very interested.
Keep
in
it
turning
down.
it into something.
Yeah.
She
Could be a
lived
Boy
up on-
Scout project.
She lived up on
It'd
Pine
be a
Cove.
great Boy Scout project.
Mhm.
She was,
She was
hers started as a scout project. And she just kind of fell in love with that area back there, and so there was tires, all kinds of things washing out of I forget the name of the creek, but it's up, or the lake, it's up off of Butler Warren Road, it's up a couple miles.
Yeah.
Oh, the Pay Lake?
No,
Yeah, something like,
I don't think it's a pay lake. There's just a small lake back there.
Is it?
but anyway, that empties into that creek, and that's, so anyway, that's why the nature trail stayed the way it is.
Well,
And
it's a
the Schuler
pristine
Park,
piece of ground right now, I mean, it's,
well, honestly, at the beginning, the reason the neighbors asked the trustees to buy it was because
the
the
developer
developer
wanted
was
to
gonna
come in,
move in with condos and stuff, and they were all up in arms about that, so.
Well, if I remember, that sucker
Yeah.
Pretty steep
Yeah,
on one
that's
side.
very
down,
steep.
you know.
That's why they
Well,
were
that's why the
gonna,
overlooks come.
they were gonna have
Yeah.
overlooks and
Right.
stuff. I mean, it would've
That's
been
kinda
pretty
cool,
neat,
really.
but, yeah, but,
From
you know, we
all
don't
this- for all
have,
that stuff.
we don't have a park levy. Everything comes out of the general
Push your
fund,
wife off of
so
it.
that's what happens. You know, you
Yeah, look at
you
there's
do
a
what you
guppy,
can.
buddy.
So Mike, the advisory committee,
Yeah,
when does it meet?
Every now and then.
yeah, it's supposed to, when it was set up, we used to meet once a month, on the second Monday of the month.
So you were on that?
He said it.
Well, no, they had sort of a committee that had, they weren't ever meeting or anything. And then when I became park director, we kind of reset it up. But we evolved into mainly working on different events and stuff. So that's why it's really not necessary to meet every month. Again, the members of the park committee aren't being paid. There's their time.
Plus, we're really not making any decisions.
Now,
Well, is there a,
well, the thing of it is, over the 20-some years, we have got it to the point where, except way once in a while, what's new? I mean, we came up,
Well,
we got
yeah,
the,
I don't think we've been asked as a group to do.
well, but we came up with like the festival. Luminary John's been doing it for, how long did you do that?
Before the township took over?
Yeah.
Probably almost, oh God, 20 years?
Right,
And I did it before that.
Well, no, we all did it. 'cause
Yeah, the
with
JCs.
The JCs with Gary
Yeah.
Sullivan.
but then,
So,
you know, over the years, we've helped in certain areas with suggestions on, do this here, do that there, you know, how about this at that part? And we've got it developed to the point now, not saying that there's not always room for improvement, but it's not the drastic need like they used to be. You know, we, like Bechtel,
well, being landlocked doesn't help either, where you.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
park,
yeah.
You know,
Right.
where's there any land to build another park?
so is this the Parks and Recreation Committee or the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee?
It's just one of the same.
One and the same.
yeah,
Are there any code of regulations or bylaws that have ever been written up? Nothing,
don't they,
Not that I know of,
yeah.
not that I ever saw.
don't they,
Well, and then there's not a maintenance department public meeting, is there?
No.
Right, okay. I'm just trying to figure out where the citizen can interact.
Okay, citizens, you can always get in touch with me, email Tracy, directly email the trustees.
And that's on
Because
the
anything
website.
that comes up here or comes up with Tracy, eventually is gonna go to the trustees. You know, if it means spending a lot of money especially, it has to go to the trustees. Nothing that we do, no project that we run, we just don't do on our own. Everything is approved by the trustees.
So like field rental rates, who sets those?
I set them, but the trustees have to
that'd be approved.
Approve them.
say it's okay.